Hey guys, so today this is one video that has been requested for me. Liquid to powder ratio, how important it is. It's one of the most important thing you can technique to master. Once you master this, it actually makes doing acrylics a lot more easier. I'm going to be using my 14 brush here, and I'm going to show you guys how I gauge my liquid to powder ratio. A little bit of backstory with liquid to powder ratio is this is the ratio between liquid to the acrylic, and this allows you to control the consistency of the powder. And once you master this technique, you'll be able to flawlessly pick up the right size bead, the right consistency that you need to work with. It's very important that we understand. For my students I teach in my classes, I say for any beginner, a 60-40 ratio is a very good ratio. Once you get more advanced where you can work quicker, you want to do a 50-50 ratio, means that it's going to set low quicker. 60-40 means 60% of liquid, 40% of powder, so of course it's going to be a little bit more, gives you more time to work with it. But when I do ratio, really for me, I consider this whole brush as 100%. So whenever you put your brush into the monomer, that's already 100% of liquid. That's already soaked into this brush. So I like to use a nice and stable dampened dish, not like a small one, because I use the rim of the dish to actually gauge my ratio. So when I come out, I would actually run the brush on the side right here, and I would pull. And this allows me to push monomer back into the dish. And the farther I pull out, the more I remove. So at 60%, I would say right here, and I would actually lift the brush outward. A lot of people will go like this, and then they'll go and then actually remove more liquid than they should have, and that's why it messes up the ratio. So whenever I'm done with my ratio, I feel like this is a 50-50, I would actually pull it outward, and it would actually leave behind enough monomer for me to work with. So let's see the difference between picking up powder from a 60% ratio compared to a 40% ratio. Okay, that's 60. Do like a 3-second rule, and here's your bead. Now see, the bead looks like it's very stable, right? But as within 3 seconds, you'll see it starts to marble. That means the monomer is starting to work, and now see it's becoming runny. See, you have to actually give it some time when you're working with acrylic for the monomer to actually kick in. A lot of times we'll pick up the bead, and you just a big mistake is you'll pick up the bead, and then all of a sudden, next thing you do is you put it on the nail right away, and guess what? It starts to start running all over the place, and then now you're playing hot potato. I'd rather hold on to the brush, you have more control of it, and let it settle. Like, see, when it gets nice and glossy, that means that, okay, now the monomer is set in, and you can see the consistency of it. You can either wait a little bit longer, or you can put it on and start working with it. So that's another little bit of tip that I can give for you guys. Give it some time for the monomer to start to work. Let's do a 50-50 ratio, okay? I pick up the bead the same way. As you can see, this is about 50% to 50%, and now it's marbled. Now, when it's marbled, you see how it's not as runny as the 60-40? It's more stable, so it means you can work with this right away. For me, I like working with a bead like that, a 50-50 ratio bead, because I work really fast with acrylic. I have a mastery of acrylic, so I just put the acrylic on, and boom, I start working with that. Beginners, if you want more time to be able to mold and work on the acrylic, you want to do a little bit more monomer, 60-40 definitely, but you want to work towards a 50-50 ratio. So this is how I gauge ratio. Once again, when the brush goes in, that means it's 100%. I use the rim, push out, halfway, lift out, that's 50%. If you go up a little bit like this, that's 60%. And you guys already see the difference. This is 60 right here, pick up be the same way, and this actually will marble, and then you see it starts getting running because there's a lot more monomer on the brush. But although this bead is a little bit bigger than the smaller beads that I've done, so you see how I picked up more powder. So now my 60-40 is more like 50-50 now, because I have actually more powder on the brush, so it actually there's a balance. So that's another way to gauge your ability to understand the powder. This is actually the most important thing before you actually start working on acrylics, and a lot of nail techs don't even understand the science behind what goes on when you go from the monomer to the powder. It's actually very important to understand the polymerization, the time, the speed, the setting. I'm using my monomer right now. This is my Nail Studios monomer. Is a medium setting monomer. So this monomer definitely will is actually responsible for a lot of what you're seeing right now, and it really works with a lot of the big brand powder right now. So yes, it's partially by the monomer also. Your monomer may not be like this. I don't know, because this is a medium setting, so I'm really used to it. That's why I'm using this as an example. So if you guys want to try my monomer, you also go to nail-shop.com, and there's the video on the liquid to powder ratio. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that it helped a lot of people. I use these videos. I hope you guys enjoy that content. That's a liquid to powder ratio, a little bit of how I do it. I know a lot of people maybe do it differently. This is definitely a very fundamental technique that you can build up on as a nail tech. Even if you're an advanced nail tech, probably go back to the basics and hone your skill in a little bit. Get a little bit better control of your powder by creating the bead, understanding it way beforehand. In the video, I definitely use my monomer. It's a EMA monomer, 100% EMA, medium setting, which you see why it's so stable. It's not runny as a lot of monomers that you see out there. I also use my 14 crimp brush that allows me to pick up the bead a little bit bigger and a little bit flatter, as you can see. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I will definitely please subscribe and definitely leave me a comment and a like. Support the content, and I'll read the comment and see what you guys want to see next. Okay,